You know, and most of the time, and by the way, when I was working at the hotel, at that kibanda, you know, in the morning you drink that tea and mandazi, and the same in the evening, and that was it.
Yeah.
During this time, I was hanging out with, I had friends, but I thank God that me being a bit busy did not give me, you know, the full force of, you know, just, or rather the time of hanging out with friends, you know, because during this time, a lot of my friends, I'll tell you this, I think probably 2% of my friends, and when I say 2%, I mean like four friends that are alive today, out of a slum that you have a generation that you're going together with. And some of them in the evening will be watching news and TV and all those stations, and you're seeing your friend has just been shot. To others it's news, but for you it's someone you went to primary school with, someone you were just with 2 hours before. There's a guy who was shot in industrial area and we were with him not even 20 minutes.
Sympathy, I need love. If you can love me, you really don't need to stay. I'm only human. I need no sympathy, I need love. If you can love me.
It is a great evening. Once again, it's Sunday on Eli's Hangout. And of course, on Eli's Hangout, we get to talk and discuss about personal issues. How about the missed calls? That is the story of tonight. And my guest is not new to you, but of course, new on Eli's Hangout. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce Catherine Osita. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Eli.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine this evening.
Yeah, nashangaa watu wameenda wapi? Kwani they are still sleeping. We are live, guys. Share the link, invite your friends, and let's have a conversation. I would love for us to have this conversation on this link because some of you try to say, Eli, we don't see where to post our remarks, blah, 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 blah. So follow this live link on Likuyani Eli. That's the page. Likuyani Eli, the Arts in Heart, of course, the Arts in Heart official on YouTube. Let's have a conversation. So, Catherine, kidogo kidogo to tell us, who are you?
Okay, Catherine is a young, not a young, but a mother. So first of all, I'll start with my name. My name is Catherine Osita. I work with Roll to Global Organization as the programs manager. And I come from a very humble family of 5 boys and a foster sister. So we are 7 of us. Yeah, so, and a father, and we lost our mom in 2017. Yeah. So that's me.
Okay, thank you so much for the brief introduction, but I believe there's so much to talk about as we proceed on. So remember, guys, we are hanging out with Catherine Osita. Catherine has a story to tell, just like many of us. But her story, it's about missed calls. Have you ever been in a situation that you don't pay attention to your phone call, especially to those ladies, that most of the time they're on phone, but there's this one particular day that you're not on your phone. But then by the time you switch on that phone, kuna story. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Catherine. Catherine, missed call. Hebu tuambie ilianzaje kwanza?
So my missed call started when I was in school. First of all, right now I'm a student at JKUAT University, Kakamega campus. Yes, I'm taking my master's in development studies. And that time when I received the missed calls that we are talking about right now, I was taking my diploma in social work at Nairobi Institute of Business Studies. Yeah, so it was on 19th October 2009, just a normal day, the way you can wake up in the morning and start your duties kawaida. So at that time I was not going to work. I had stopped going to work. and I was going to college. And the person who introduced me, like the person who encouraged me to go back to school, is the person you're going to speak about today, and why the missed calls.
Are you talking about him?
Yes, he's my late husband, Gilbert. This photo he took when you went to Nakuru in 1 December in 2008. Yes.
Okay, so Catherine, tell us, how did it become for him to become the late? I mean, of course, we understand that death is a natural thing, but how exactly did it end up to come that your then husband passed on?
Yeah, so on that 19th of October 2009, we woke up well. I was having a CAT, continuous assessment exam in my college. So he told me to wake up early because it was a very rainy day, so that I can catch up with the Nairobi traffic along Jogo Road, for me not to miss my paper, which was supposed to be at 8 a.m. So I prepared everything, and back at home for him to, when he wakes up, he'll be able to prepare himself, and also our little boy who was 5 years, for him to go back to school. So me, I left the house kawaida and I went to school. Then at around 9 in the morning, he called me asking me how was the paper, because he knew past 1 hour, past 8 a.m., I will be done. And I talked to him and I told him we did not even sit for the CAT because the teacher was also late, and he apologized. And then we were told we'll sit for the CAT now on Tuesday, because that was on Monday, and the following day on Tuesday, on Tuesday was a holiday, so you were to sit for that CAT on Wednesday. And that holiday is the one that we used to call Kenyatta Day, 20th of October. Yeah. So I never called him. I never took my phone out of my pocket from that time when we spoke. The whole day, like I did not even bother to check my phone. So at 4 p.m., that is the time I took my phone from my pocket, and I found 5 missed calls from his number.
That is from 9 in the morning, the last time he called you to ask how the paper had gone. And this is 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and you take out your phone, and then bam, 5 missed calls. So many calls, I would say.
Yeah, so they were many because it was unusual to get 5 missed calls from his number. But I did not see as if it's something weird. I just thought maybe he was telling me to pick something from town. I go with it. I thought he was telling me to carry some watermelon because he used to love watermelon. So instead of me calling that number, instead of me calling him back, I just went direct and bought watermelons. And then when I picked the matatu to go to where we were living, that is the time now I called the number, and the brother picked. And again, I did not feel as if there is something wrong, because the brother was to come and visit us that evening. And I thought he's at home and they are waiting for me, because we were to go visit my mom that evening with the brother. So he picked, and I was like, I'm picking matatu, I'm coming. And he was like, okay, just come. And I got into the matatu. So reaching around Makadara. Yeah, we used to call it Mahadu. Mahadu, yeah.
Makada, okay, whatever. And for those who do not understand what is a matatu is actually a public means of transport used commonly in Kenya.
In Kenya, yeah. So when we reached at Makadara, the phone rang, and checking was his sister. And he was like, "Hi, Kate, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm doing fine." And I sounded happy. And then she just told me, "Okay." And she hung up. I did not again realize anything, because this is my sister-in-law calling me, and it's okay. She used to call me. Yeah, we continued going, and reaching at Donholm, my phone rang again. Checking was his number. Replying, it was his brother again, and he was asking me, "Where have you reached?" And I was like, "I'm at Donholm. I'm almost at home." And he told me, "Hurry up." So in my mind, I thought I'm hurrying up so that we go at my mom's place. So I went, and I continued, like I was in a matatu anyway, and I could not do anything. So I took some few minutes and I was at home. So just arriving at home, I checked outside the apartment where we used to live. There was no any parked car. And I used to know his brother used to come and park his car. So when I
Okay.
checked around, there was no his car, and I got inside the apartment, and I met my son, and the door was locked. And
Yeah.
I asked my son, "Have you seen Daddy?" My son said, "No." "What about Uncle?" "No." And there was a friend out. There was a friend who used to visit us, seated outside the apartment, and
Yeah.
I just told him, "Hi." I'll just mention his name. "Hi, Wawero," and Wawero told me, "I'm okay." Then there wasn't something showing me there is something wrong. So the funny thing, he was the one who locked the door in the morning. So I was not aware where he had kept the keys. And nothing clicked in me that there is something wrong. And I just called a neighbor who helped me to break that padlock, and we got in. And the funny thing is, I was breaking the padlock, not asking myself, what if my husband comes now? He'll ask me, why did you break the padlock? And I'm the
In
one who
fact, you're
closed the
breaking
door.
into your own house
Exactly,
because
you know.
this guys decided to go and have fun and he's not coming back. And, let me just break in
Yeah.
and, after all, it's your house, right?
So
Okay.
I got in with my son, and the watermelons that I carried, we started feeding on them, some
Ah,
pieces, yeah.
okay. Yeah.
And I made some coffee very fast because I knew maybe it was very late in the evening, and we
Yeah.
might go home, and maybe they might refuse to take tea at my mom's place. And because I was hungry, I wanted to make my stomach full, so that
Oh, yeah.
even if they say no to that tea with me, I'll
Yeah.
be okay.
You're okay. You're
Yes.
sorted. Actually, that's what
Yes.
most women do. So by the time you arrive, they're already sorted, and you are here thinking
Mm,
everyone is hungry. Okay,
yeah.
fine. So the watermelons are done. And what time of the hour was this? You're
And,
speaking, Catherine.
and now it was almost 7 p.m. in the evening.
Yeah. Was it unusual that at 7 he was not at home?
For him, he used to come at around from 6 to 8, between 6 to 8. So to me,
Oh,
it wasn't it
everything
wasn't
was still
something. Yeah,
okay.
everything was
Yeah.
still okay. But
Yeah.
now the brother called me again and asked me, "Where are you?" And I told him, "You guys are just disturbing me. I'm in the house." And I told him, first of all, give the on of that phone. We have been
Mm.
communicating all the time. What is wrong with you? Give the person give the honor.
Yeah.
So we
That
used to
is your
call him.
husband. Yeah.
We used to call him Charlie. He had
Charlie.
a
Okay.
nickname from childhood, Charlie. So
Mhm.
I told him, just give Charlie his phone. And he was like, "No, where are you?" And I told him, I'm in the house. So what's up? And he told me, "What are you doing?" I told him, "I'm seated and I'm taking some coffee." And he asked me, "Are you alone?" I was, "Yeah, of course I'm alone with the baby." And
Mhm.
he told me, "We are at Kenyatta Hospital." And I told him, "What are you doing at Kenyatta Hospital?"
Mhm.
And I tried asking him, "Is your son okay? Is your
Mhm.
daughter okay? Is your wife okay?" And he told me, "Everyone from my family is okay." And I asked him, "So what are you doing at Kenyatta? And are you
Yeah.
with Charlie?" And he told me, "Yes." And I asked him, "Okay, so who is sick?" And he told me, "Charlie is sick." I laughed. I
Mhm.
laughed and told him, "Let me tell you, Charlie is
Mhm.
that kind of a person, even if he has malaria, he'll never go to hospital."
Never got hospital. He's a real African man.
Yes. He used to get a cold flu, the homa,
Yeah.
and he could take all concussions. He could mix everything, and the following day he wakes up so strong. So I
In
told him,
others,
"You're
he
just
would have survived
joking."
with Corona if he was here now,
Yes, he was a
because he was the
he knew how to
mixologist.
mix. He knew how to mix those things. So
Mm.
I was like, no, 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 you stop joking, because we used to joke a lot. And I told him, "Stop joking,
Yeah.
this is not the time we can joke." And he told
Yeah.
me, "True, we are at Kenyatta." And I told him, "Kindly tell me, because Charlie was not sick in the morning. I'm the one who left him. He slept well. He wasn't sick. So what is wrong?" And then he told me, "I want to tell you something and hope you will not be shocked." And I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, tell me." And he just told me, "Charlie got an accident in the morning and we are at Kenyatta." So immediately he said accident. My body, like, I felt that coldness in my body that was very abnormal. Like I
Yeah.
was so scared. I was scared, like I felt as if somebody has told me something very bad. And I just asked him, "Tell me, how is he?" And he just told me, "You come." Only that. So I started sweating. So what I did, I just hung up and I said, "Let me try and call my mom and
Mhm.
tell my mom I've been called and I've been given this news." So calling my mom, she did not pick her phone. So in my mind, I thought maybe she knows everything and she doesn't want to pick the phone. She doesn't know how she's going to tell me. So that
Yeah.
is what I thought in my mind. And then I thought again very fast, let me call his mom. And I remembered his mom is that kind of a lady that you cannot just tell her, information. Perhaps she was having, she's a diabetic, yeah. So
Yep.
we were not like telling her bad news like that. So I said, no, let me not tell her. Then I called my father. And I called my father, and my father picked. And I asked him, where are you? He told me, I'm at Pangani in a meeting. And I just told him, move from that meeting and call Charlie's number. Somebody will pick and just go where they are. So my father was like, what is wrong? I just told him, I've been told he got an accident. Just call his number. And I hung up. Now I started now fixing myself on how can I get out. So the funny thing is, I never even, it was raining that evening. I did not even put on my pullover. I did not even carry anything to warm myself. The way I was. And then I did not even check what I was wearing, like whether I had shoes or what. I did not even check. I just moved. I took my boy and I just left him with the neighbors, and I left the house. I called my neighbor who used to work at, that time it was Ukwala Hyper along Tomboya Street, yeah. And I told her, please, Faye, don't come home. Just wait for me in town. And for her, she thought maybe her son used to love me. So she thought maybe something has happened to her son. And I don't want to tell her. She started crying, and I told her, stop crying. I'm just coming, and you're taking me somewhere. Yeah. So I went, like when I took a matatu again back to town, I was just crying in a matatu. The person I was seated with was asking what is wrong. And I could not even speak. Like I was not myself. Because for me, whatever was clicking in my mind was, if somebody got an accident, this person must be in a very bad condition. Maybe they are lying, because my mom did not pick the phone. The brother did not tell me anything. And my father, I don't know whether he has arrived. And if he has arrived, he's not even telling me anything.
Okay,
So I went to town. Yeah, it was so rainy. And I went at Kencom to pick a mat to Kenyatta Hospital. The stage was full, but there were no buses. Yeah, so I called my brother-in-law again, and I told him I'm in town, but no cars coming to Kenyatta. And he told me, let me come and pick you guys. And I'm having a car that I just picked from the garage, and I don't even know the number plate. Just go behind Hilton. I'm going to push the flashlights, and when you see them, just know it's me. So we took some few, like almost 45 minutes, and he was there. And he put the hazards, and we saw the car, and we went in. He was not saying anything. He was not speaking to me. Everything was quiet. So Faith was there also. Unfortunately, she's also late right now. She was there, and we did not know anything. Like we were asking him, how is Charlie? He's not saying anything. And my heart was pumping and pumping and pumping. You feel that fear, as if there is something so wrong that has happened. So you went up to Kenyatta. So me, I did not even wait for him to park that car. The way he was now going to the parking lot, me, I just opened the door and I jumped out.
Out and rushed into the
I
casualty
went to
room.
the emergency area. Casualty and emergency, yeah. So immediately I got into that hall. I saw is another brother, sister. I saw some of his workmates that I used to know. I saw my father, and all of them looked at me and they said nothing.
Wow.
And that time I was
They
so
all
weak.
look at you, say nothing, and what
Nothing.
went through your mind at that moment?
In fact, I was so weak that now I started crawling down, because people are looking at me, all of them, and they're saying nothing, and no one even is coming towards me. So what I did, I just went closer to the sister-in-law, and she pointed at him, and she told me, Charlie is here. And I looked at him. He was sleeping on a stretcher with a cervical collar and a bandage here. And so when I saw him, okay, whatever was in my mind now went away. I even stopped crying, and I told my father, Yani, why did you not just tell me he's okay? Because according to me, whatever was in my mind is not what I saw. Whatever I was expecting is not what I saw, because I was expecting to see somebody who doesn't have skin, flesh and everything. And he was okay, only that on his arm, he did not have a skin from here up to here. Like the skin had been scrubbed away.
Wrapped off,
Wrapped off, yeah. So that is the only thing that I saw that was, having a lot of blood,
Yeah.
but he was unconscious. So with me, I got encouraged because I saw he's here and he's still breathing. So
Mhm.
it was around that time, it was around 10 p.m. Yeah. We took time to go there. It was around 10 p.m. So we were admitted at around, Kenyatta takes, the way people in Kenyatta take
The
long.
procedure and
The
everything.
procedure is so long, yeah. So I found them already waiting for admission, and he was admitted at ward, if I remember very well, ward 6C. Yes, he was put in a special room that had a lot of oxygen machines, and yeah. And by the time we were leaving, his conscience had started coming back, and he just asked me, "What am I doing here?" And I told him, "You're in hospital, but we are going to talk more tomorrow." And he started complaining like, "I want to go to the toilets."
So, Catherine, before
Mhm.
we even get into that, why was he in the first place in hospital? What sort of accident happened to him, and where did this happen?
Yeah, so now you see, when an accident happens, a lot of people will tell you a lot of stories, yeah?
Yeah.
So it happened, he used to work with Nairobi City Council, and he was a supervisor at a toll station along Kangundo Road,
Yeah.
between Njiru and Kayole Junction. So there is, after Njiru, there is a Catholic church called St. Monica. So just after St. Monica, there was a toll station where they used to charge these big lorry trucks that carry sand from quarry, ballast, and building stones. Yeah. So they used to collect the revenue there. So that is why he was knocked by a car. And the story behind this car is just too long. So, so this car had kidnapped a woman from a bank in Kayole, Equity Bank, and now the car was running away. So, and the woman inside the car was screaming. So everywhere this car was passing, people could hear a woman scream inside. So people were alerting other people, like, there is a car coming, kindly block that car, there is a car coming. So they were called and they were told there is a car coming towards Njiru and there's a woman screaming inside, block that car. So as the car left Kayole Junction, it did not go along Kangundo Road. It went to, there is a place called Spring Valley, and behind Spring Valley there is a big farm, the Kerema farm. It was that time, it was a very big field. So I'm told the car went there and it threw the woman there, and then it came back to Kangundo Road. So where the car was coming to join now Kangundo Road is the only place that they had a toll station. And I'm told they were blocking the road with some stones. So he was the last one to go place a stone on the road. And that car came with a speed and he was hit. So the way people tell me, because stories were told and they were, like, my mom was told in the story early in the morning, but she did not know it is my husband. So my mom was just told by other women who were coming from Marikiti that early morning that, at Njiru, there is a car that has knocked a man there, and the car knocked him. He went up, he came down, and the car passed over him, his chest. And the way they were explaining blood came from ears, the mouth, like the whole head was the way somebody can press you and the blood comes from the ears. Yeah. So you're muted. Sorry, Kiani.
Sorry about that. I mean, you say there was blood oozing from all possible holes from him. The
Yeah, from the
nose, the
head.
ears, everywhere.
Yes. That is what my mom was told. So whoever told my mom, the way I saw that man, I don't think he's going to make it. Yeah, so after this car knocking him at that area, a lot of people were, running after that car. And so the people at the toll station again called other people who were past Njuru heading to Ruai, and the others who were diverging to Mweki. There is a road
Yeah.
from Njuru to Mweki. So all roads were to be blocked, because if they were blocked, these people could have gone nowhere. So when they arrived at Njiru, they took to Mweki instead of going to Ruai. So before you go to Rafiki Foundation, just past Nairobi River, after after Njiru. So they found the road there had been blocked with a lot of quarry stones because we have a lot of quarries those side. Yeah, so the car, people were able to get the car, and the people who were driving from inside the car, I'm told there was a man and 2 women. Yeah, so people descended on them like a mob justice. But closer to that place, there is an AP camp in Jiru.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's still there up today, but that time AP camp was there. So the APs came and they rescued them. And the APs don't have a cell. I don't know whether today they do, but sometimes back the APs could not keep somebody in a cell for a long time. So what they did, they connected with another police station so that these people can be picked as criminals and be taken. Yeah, so they did that, and the AP police who handed over told me I gave Inspector Wawero and Inspector Okwala. Yeah, I'll mention their names because up to date they made me. I really feel uncomfortable, seated even closer to a policeman, because I really feel so bad when I remember whatever happened that time. Yeah, so these people were handed over to a police station plus their car. And it happened on Monday, but before Friday, they were free. Unfortunately, they were free. So people used to call his number. I could not save. So somebody just called me, like people could call that number frequently, telling me this is happening, this is happening. So somebody called me and told me, Madam, you have to go to that police station because the way I've heard, those people are going to be released and you need to follow up that case. We did not know he's going to rest because it was now on Friday. So that Friday, when this person called me, I told him I'll go tomorrow on Saturday, because that I used to go to Kenyatta every day because he had a cervical collar, like he could not wake up. I could feed him, I could clean him. He was somebody who could do everything for him. So the position that he was put with the doctors, we were told he should not move. If he dares move, something will happen. They used to tell us something will happen. Only that. So
Probably
I used
get
to
paralyzed or something like that.
Yeah, so when a patient is in danger, the doctors don't tell you direct. They just told us something will happen, but they were not telling us what will happen. Yeah. And we were told he'll be there in the position for 2 weeks, and then they'll take him to theater.
Yeah.
Because he had a broken bone. That is why he had that cervical collar.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the neck. Yeah. So since I used to go to Kenyatta, I could not go to that police station on Friday. Yeah. I went to
So you
Kenyatta.
received calls from unidentified person for that matter, and they are giving you intelligence about the proceedings of what is happening at the police cells.
Yes.
And then from no clue, you realize that these people have been released. If I get you right, ideally the feeling was there was something that was cooking up and it was going beyond you. So you would say that with everything that happened, was your husband murdered with that case, or was it just bad luck, as they would have put it?
I don't know whether I'll say bad luck, because I'll say my husband was murdered. Because if the people who did the action were not released, we could have went to court, and my husband could have got justice for what they did to him. But if they ran and then they were arrested and they were brought to a police station and all of a sudden they were released, what does it tell? They never felt as if, to them, they never felt they did something bad. And even the police, to them, it's either they work with them. Because how can somebody kidnap somebody from a bank? That is robbery with violence. And then you're releasing this person. That is something he has given you. You have agreed on something.
Catherine, I want us to talk more about what happened and transpired when you actually go to the hospital and your husband is laying in bed, and it's now a matter of time until things go south. We'll be back with that and many more of that story, including what happened to Catherine thereafter, in a moment.
wakati wote katika
Christ, I just noticed I've been talking to myself. My apologies. That is Pastor Timothy Gitui featuring Jackie Calvin. The song is Calvary wa Yesu. And of course, tonight we are talking and hanging out with Catherine Osita. Catherine Osita is my guest, and we are talking in the matters missed calls. You know, that moment you pick up your phone and you realize it's been buzzing and buzzing, never get attention to it. And finally, the story that comes with it breaks you down. And all you need is nguvu to take you through. Catherine Osita, good evening once again and karibu. We are talking about your story on how you found your husband in hospital after the accident that was put out. But for you, it was murder, especially with everything that surrounded how the case was handled. So, how exactly was this case handled, Catherine?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for playing that song. The funny thing is, the last Friday, the last night I visited Kenyatta, I played There Is a Race by Jabu Mlongwane the whole night.
The
I did not
original
know which
South
race
African.
was behind. Yes, I did not know which race that I'm going to run. I understood the following day that it was a different race. Yeah. So thank you for that song, and thank you for Pastor Kitui. He did a nice song. Yeah, in Luya. Yeah. So this case, Eli, the following Saturday, my husband passed, and I had to communicate back to the police station that now he's no more. Remember, he only survived for 4 days. The 5th day, he passed on. Yeah, and now I went back there, and the shock that I got when I was told he had an accident, and the shock that now I'm told now. I went to Kenyatta and I gave him water, and then the next minute we can't talk. I'm blocked. I cannot even go back to the ward. Everybody's looking down. Nobody wants to face me until 3 p.m. when now I'm being told Charlie is normal. Like I got confused. I never used to eat. Nilikuwa niko too, like I was thinking about crazy things in my mind. So at this time, I took a break kidogo to arrange for everything, his burial, and he died on 24th. The accident happened on 19th October. He died on 24th October. By 7th November, we buried him, and then now I came back now following up the case. And remember, I was doing my studies. I was to sit for my first module 1 exam the following week.
Yeah.
I started following up with the case. I went to that police station, and I remember the traffic police who had that case. I'll never forget him. Up to today, you can't imagine. I'm still saving Koplokanyi's number. I still have Koplokanyi's number up to date from 2009, and I said I'll never delete it. I always check him to see whether he's there. I really just check on him. I never say hi, but I just click on his status. I just see, has he changed the profile picture on WhatsApp, just to see whether he's still alive. Yeah, so I went, and the OB was reading hit and run with an unidentified car, no driver, like still in search. And the funny thing, these funny calls I used to receive on his number, somebody told me even like I could know he was the car had one man who was a driver and 2 women who were with the woman who was kidnapped behind. I could know it was a saloon car. Like I was told everything. And then going to the police station, they were telling me hit and run, and they don't know whether it's a car, a lorry, or they're just saying they collected a body, somebody on the road, and then the person was taken to hospital. So
Wait a minute. So the story was changed from that crime scene to become a hit and run. That these people disappeared, but in fact they were arrested and brought in.
Yes. So I was so bitter. So I used to go to that traffic office, and I could talk nonstop. So the funny thing with this police, and I don't know whether it happens to all policemen, and if there is a policewoman or policeman watching us, I'm sorry, but this is what happened to me, and I'll just have to say it in black and white. When I used to go to that traffic police, they used to laugh and say, she has come back again, the crazy woman. Because I used to tell them everything that is happening, and they used to wonder who is telling me all these things. So I could go to that office, and they go out, all of them, and I'm left alone. Can you imagine? Even the women who were there, they were just laughing. They were just laughing, saying, yeah, she's here again, she's here again. So when somebody called me and then told me that it's an AP that arrested, and I went to that AP, and the AP told me they were brought to that station, because at the first time I was just going to the traffic office. Now, when somebody now told me that, and I went to the AP, and the AP told me now go to the crime center, now the crime office, I went to the DCI,
DCIO, Director of Criminal Investigation.
DCI. Yes, I went to his office, and I told him I want to see Inspector Okwala and Inspector Wawero. And he was like, why? And I told him they took a man and 2 women from a crime, and I'm told they know where they are. So this officer who was there, he was their head. Yeah, somebody he had some ranks. Yeah. He told me, come tomorrow. And I left. And the following day I was there again. And I told him I've come. And I was told Okwala is not around, Wawero is around. And Wawero came. And Wawero was like, let's go and talk outside. And the officer in office told he was okay. He said, you guys, you can go and have your talk somewhere. So in the same police station, they have some flats constructed. So you went behind the flats, some 2 stones were there, and we sat down. And Wawero opened up. And Wawero told me, Madam, I just want to tell you the truth, and you forgive me. And I asked him, what do you want to tell me? And he told me, yes, I went to Njiru, and I was 3 people were handed over to me and my colleague, a man and 2 women, but here we follow orders. So the woman who was kidnapped came, and they had a talk with the people who had kidnapped her. They should return the money that they stole from her. And kawaida, whatever happens in Kenya, the head of the station had something to part, and the rest, and everyone who was involved, and probably even the traffic police, because he was the one who was having that case, and even Kina Wawero and that Okwala. He told
So there
me,
was conspiracy to cover up everything.
Exactly. He told me that is what happened, and we released them. And I was so bitter. I just looked at Wawero and I told Wawero, one day, Wawero, you will wake up like the way Charlie woke up. He went to work. He never came back. Even you, that is what is going to happen to you one day. And he was like, no, forgive me. And I told him, that is the reality of life. The way you did to him, the same way, will happen to you. The way I'm feeling with my child, that is what your wife and your children will feel when it will happen to you. And I told him, you will not be docked. Something will just happen to you. And they'll also have a story to tell the way I'm doing. And I told him, thank you for telling me the truth. And I walked away.
At that moment, I believe you are bitter and probably in grieving, and a lot of things happened. Something you mentioned to me earlier, you mentioned about the frustration you received from one of the officers at the city hall where your husband was working with the bills. What exactly happened, Catherine?
Hey, Eli, I'm telling you, things were happening too fast. So many things. And I was young. I was at 26 years. I was so young. At City Hall, when somebody dies, you have to go and do some clearance for you to receive his benefits. And since it happened in his line of work, I was to be paid the workman compensation. And now I was moving a City Hall, my City Hall. I don't know whether it has changed, but if it is the way it was that time, so many people, so many widows are suffering and they don't know what to do. With me, maybe because I was a bit enlightened, and maybe I was working with people who are telling me what to do. I don't know what the rest are doing. Yeah. So I was advised, like I could go to an office and I'm told, for you to be paid workman compensation, you have to go to the technical office. I went to the technical office. Going to the technical office, they told me, give us the receipts that proves this person got an accident, he went to hospital, and for sure he died. Yeah. And I remembered my brother-in-law told me all the receipts. Like immediately, for them, they were told in the morning, and that is why the brother-in-law was calling me all the way throughout in the morning, and I did not pick. So for them, were told in the morning, and he was brought in with an ambulance, Maria Hospital. I'm told Maria Hospital ambulance, that's the one that brought him in, and not really. Maria Hospital had an ambulance because he was taken to a first aid hospital, Kayole Hospital. From Kayole Hospital, he was picked by a Maria ambulance up to Donholm. They met with the Nairobi City Council ambulance. It picked the exchange now. So at Kenyatta, he arrived with the Nairobi City Council ambulance. Yes. Yeah. So from there now, my brothers-in-law were paying everything.
Just to be clear, Catherine, Nairobi City Council then, and now it's the Nairobi County.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
Great.
So the moment now he was at Kenyatta, my brothers-in-law told me anything they were paying, Mr. Nganga from City Hall was asking for the receipts. So for them, they did not know any protocol in Nairobi City Council at that time. So they could pay anything and give him, pay and give him, pay and give him. So the only receipts I was having were the morgue receipts. So at the technical office, I was told, we want all the receipts. So I called my brother and I told my brother, hey, I'm being asked for the receipts. And he told me, all the receipts from the ward, Nganga has them. Go and ask Nganga to give you. Now I started tracing Nganga's office in City Hall.
Yeah.
And I got to Nganga's office. And the secretaries at Nganga office, they could see me and tell me, Nganga is not there. Even without I say hi, they respond to me, Nganga is not there.
Ideally, there was some extra conspiracy happening here.
No, like I was going there every day,
money.
and because I was now tired. I was also like, you know, the way you sit there and you ask them, oh, don't you see me every day? Don't you just feel you should let me sing Nganga? And Nganga could ask who is there, and they're told there is a lady, and of course ask what is her name, and it's me, and he will tell her I'm not there. And they're telling me Nganga is not there, and I'm seated at the chair, and somebody comes out of the office, and I can see Nganga seated in the office, and they're telling me Nganga is not there. So I got in by force. And I told him what I need are my receipts. And he told me, hey, what is wrong with you? Nairobi City Council was taking care of your husband. We paid the ambulance. We were taking care of him in the ward. So I don't know. He called. I can't remember the name he told me, but he told me they have. I don't know. I can't remember the exact name he told me. The process that they go through to retrieve the money. Is it retrieving? Like to claim the money that they spent at Kenyatta. It's their money.
Reimbursed probably themselves.
Yes. And I told him how. What I want are my receipts. What he did, he removed out of his pocket 4,000. He placed on the table and he told me, this is what we have for you. And I told him I don't want money. I want the receipts. He walked out of the office and left me there. I also woke up. I stood up and I left the 4,000 on the table and I went home. And I told my brother, I'm going to take a step. And kindly, you guys don't get in. So the following morning, I woke up and went to the Integrity House. And I gave out my story. And I was given
An Integrity House is actually where the corruption
the anti-corruption
cases.
unit.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I went to the anti-corruption unit, Integrity House. Yeah, I was given 2 police in civilian. I went with them at City Hall. And arriving there, Nganga was not there. That is now the following day after I've left the money on the table. And Nganga was not there, and we went to his boss. And his boss was told to call Nganga, and he was given a leave. So yesterday, when the previous day when he was leaving me in his office, definitely he knew the following day I'm not going to get him because he was now starting his leave. So the boss was told to tell him to come within 30 minutes. He did not come. And then, so at 4, we waited until 4. He did not come. And he was told to report at the Integrity House the following day by 7. So even me, I woke up at 7 and he found me seated. And he was like, why can't we solve this thing outside? I told him, what I wanted were the receipts. And you gave me money. Don't worry. Yeah. So he was told to go back to Kenyatta. And he was asked where the receipts are. And he said they were in the cash room. They are attached to a check that has already been cashed, showing that they claimed the money. Yeah, and
so
the police
wait a minute. Whose name was on the check?
I don't know whose name was on the check personally, because I did not see the check. Of course, their name.
How much money are we talking about here? Well, money is still money, but how much money for the purposes of clarity?
So at that time, I could not tell how much was on that check, because personally I had not seen the receipts. So I could not even tell how much my brothers could have used in the ward. I could not even tell. What I wanted were just the receipts, me too, to see them, because I had not seen them. What I had only were the receipts from the morgue. And the technical office wanted both the morgue and the ward. Yeah, so when he said the receipts were the cash room, the cash room where the check was. And of course, they cannot be taken out. They cannot be taken out of that room because they are showing why the check was cashed. So he was told to go back to Kenyatta and get receipts. So he went to Kenyatta. He was sent back to Milimani police station to go and pick an abstract that they have lost a Kenyatta property. He went with an abstract. He was given a roll of receipt. When it's a duplicate of the original, it's that roll without, being cut, like the roll that you see that the bus tract. Yeah. So it was a roll of receipt. And after 2 days, I was called by the police at the integrity, and I was told, your documents are here. Yeah. And he came with all the receipts, but no, they were written duplicate of the original. Yes. And by that time, he was placed under half salary for investigation. And I took the receipts, him plus me, plus the police. We went to the technical office, and we handed over the morgue receipts and the ward receipts. Yes. Then after 1 month, I did not get that letter I could have shared with you. I received a letter an apology letter from town clerk, telling me, sorry, their employee misbehaved to me, and I'm not the employee. Yeah, so that is what happened at City Hall. And if not of my, courage and knowing what I'm supposed to do, I don't think I could have even traced the money that we had spent in hospital, because the City Hall corridors, they just have a lot.
Yeah.
They have a lot. Yeah.
So just to I know, out of curiosity, was the money supposed to be paid from workman's compensation finally compensated in full?
Yes.
Was it settled?
Yes. After the receipts were handed over to technical office, I was handed over to Canada Assurance Company. Yes, and I was compensated.
Okay.
Yes.
One thing that I'm getting from all this is your resilience and reason to fight that kept you going. But it equally got you to trouble with some quarters.
Yes.
With the police, probably?
Yes. So yeah, it got me when at the Canada, they wanted an abstract from the police station. And this abstract should indicate the number plate of the car, the driver who knocked him, the time, and everything. And I had to go back to that police station again for me to get an abstract. And they could not write it because to them it was a hit and run. No car was found, nothing. And so many things were running into my mind, and people were introducing me to so many people. And I was introduced to one Inspector Galgalo at that time was Pangani Flying Squad. And I went to Galgalo. Yeah, I went to Galgalo, and he tried following up with my case at that police station. And he just called me and told me, my dear, how many kids do you have? And I told him I have one son. And he told me, my dear, you'll just be a stray bullet. You're having a lot that will put so many people down. In Kenya tunasema kiraoni, watatoa kofia, they'll be in for it, and they will not wait for that. So it is you whom they'll eliminate. And he told me something to show me that these people could know where I'm going every day. And he told me, leave it to God. One day, God will justify everything. God will revenge for you. And that is how I stopped following up. And I went to that station. I just told them, fill that abstract form the way you want to fill it. I want to take it back to the insurance company. And they did. Like, they could not have a witness. I told them, put me as a witness. They wrote me. Like, it had no number plate. It had no name of the driver. It had only the name of the witness, who was me. Can you hear me? We are having very heavy rains here.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just trying to fix my mind around this. It's too much to bear.
Yeah, so we are having a heavy rains right now, hoping my light will not go off.
I can hear you quite well, Catherine, just before you go off air, because when it rains, it pours in Africa.
Yeah.
At one point, Catherine, did you think of forgiveness or anything? And before you even answer that question, allow me to ask you, for widows that are survived with husbands and probably their spouse are dead, or getting into a marriage contract, what is the most important part in case you have to inherit your spouse? What would you advise them?
I will tell any lady or any man who is watching me and they're getting into marriage. That is what we talk. That is what we say: openness and trust. Trust your partner. Trust your spouse. Don't hide any information. The other day we spoke about issues of next of kin. I will tell you, if you're getting married and you're a lady, let your man be your next of kin, and the man, let your wife be the next of kin. Because what I faced, without me being the next of kin with in all my husband's documents, I don't think I could have made anything. And he was so open to me. He could file everything, and the file that he used to file in the house made me even know his mother bank, where he's opened his first account that he was using. He never hid anything from him. Without his openness, I could not even know how much was in his account. He died, and I used to know how much was in his account. And I remember he took a loan for me, and he gave me money, and I put in my account for my schooling, because he was the one who was paying my school fees. And let me tell you, because we were so free, we trusted each other. He was more than a husband. The way you can live with somebody like a father, somebody like who takes you like anakufanyia kila kitu. So I'll just tell people, trust and openness. Hii mambo ya kusema bwanangu, my husband cannot know what I'm doing. Oh, my wife cannot know I bought a property somewhere. You just do that. If one day you close your eyes, the properties you're doing, everything you're doing in secret will just go like that. So I'll just tell people, trust, openness. Issues of succession, without that, you won't make it. And you'll go through a lot of stress.
Trust and openness. Catherine, it's an amazing story, and we cannot exhaust everything as always. It's always my fault that we cannot get everything. But if you want to reach out to Catherine and, get to know what she's up to, because she's not just a widow. She has gone through that phase. She's come out even stronger, and she's doing an amazing job. And if you want to reach out to Catherine, these are her contacts. She's the program manager at Rural to Global Organization, and find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Rural to Global Organization, that is on Rural to Global, that is Twitter. Instagram, Rural to Global, and www.ruraltoglobal.org. Any final thoughts, Catherine?
My final thought is I forgave the people who killed my husband, and I let it to God. He's the one who knows when we are going to die and for how long we are going to live on this earth. He knows everybody's death. I forgave them, and anybody who was involved in it, I just forget them and let it. And that is why I healed, because it happened a long time ago. And without forgiveness, I don't think I could have been speaking right now. Some years back, I could have been crying. Eli, I stopped crying. And that is why even today, I cannot cry. I still remember him. Even in death, I still love him. His son is so big right now. He was 5 years. He's 17 years right now. But we are strong. Yeah, we are strong. And forgiveness is the best thing I'll tell anyone here. Having a heart that can forgive someone is all what the Bible says, And whatever you do to me, or whatever you do to someone else, is whatever will be done unto you. So I believe I also wrong people. And since I have a forgiving heart, they also forgive me. Yes. And shortly, 1 minute, my in-laws, I know if they're not watching me, one day they will watch me. They know what they did to me. I also forgive them.
In-laws. Oh, yes. Jesus, in-laws. In-laws, be kind to your daughters-in-laws and sons-in-laws, brothers-in-laws, because sometimes you might think you're the only one at loss, but they're equally grieving their loved
Mm.
ones.
Mm.
Having said that, it's been a pleasure having you on studio tonight, Catherine, and I cannot thank you enough for trying to tell your story. I know it's a story that can take forever, but we try to squeeze everything into 1 hour. It's never enough. But then again, it is what it is. So let's say thank you to each and everybody that's watched us tonight. Anne Lumasai, Salma Thayu, Lucy, Kapum Pum, Kipro Roda, how are you, darling? And we have Nancy Magan, as always, sweetheart. Thank you so much for making it to the studio. We have Beatrice Ayuma. Thank you so much, my dear. And of course, Stella Muraga. Thank you so much. I'm impressed. It's always ladies that are very hearty and touched with stories. They 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 comment and they say everything about it. So every single person that made their exchange with us, we appreciate you. We invite you to share the link with everybody that didn't get to hear this story. And above all, let's remember one thing: it's good to let it go. It is not that easy. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, courage,
Mhm.
and of course, at the end of the day, we make it. So thank you so much, Catherine, for coming to the program. As we end, allow me to wish you a very, very happy Easter holidays in Nairobi, especially in the Kakamega County. Remember to give Samingo
Mhm.
home for me. Julie, you are very, very late, but at the end of the day, you can always rewatch the link. Having said that, have a great night. I'll leave you with this from the Ngolomas. Have a great night.
The hour is dark, it's hard to see what you are doing here in the ruins and where this will lead. Oh, but I know that down through the years, I look on this moment, see your hand on it, and know you are here. And I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. And I'll testify of the seas that we've crossed, and the waters you parted, and the waves that I walked, singing, oh, 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 my God did not fail. Oh, it's the story I'll tell. Oh, I know it is well. Oh, it's the story I'll tell. Believing gets hard when options are few. When I can see what you're doing, I know that you're proving you're the God who comes through, yeah. Oh, but I know that over the years, I look back on this moment and see your hand on it and know you are here, yeah. And I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. And I'll testify of the seas that we crossed, the waters you parted, and the waves that I walk, singing, oh, 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 my God did not fail. Singing, oh, 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 it's a story I'll tell. Hey, oh, 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 I know it is well. Oh, 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 it's a story I'll tell. And all that is left is highest praises. Sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. All that is left is highest praises. Sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. All that is left, all that is left is highest praises. Hey, sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. All that is left, all that is left is highest praises. Praises, sing hallelujah to the Rock of Ages. And I'll testify of the battles you won, how you were my portion when there wasn't enough. And I'll testify of the seas that we've crossed, the waters you parted, and the waves that I walked, singing, oh, 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 my God did not fail. Singing, oh, 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 it's a story I'll tell. I'll be singing, oh, 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 I know it is well. Oh,